And without further ado, we're going to have Rob talk to us about Comcast, so with all the pictures included.
Thank you. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for that inconvenience. As you guys know, can imagine with such a big company like Comcast, there's always extra rules put in place, and it's majority for your safety as well. So I hope you guys can appreciate that. Again, I'm John Lozano. For those I haven't met previously, I'm the Senior Director of the National Partner Programs. I've been with Comcast for 12 years. I know a lot of folks in the room. It's good to be out. I think this is my first time attending an event in a year and a half. So I actually had to put pants on today. You know. So at a high level, we have Rob Patterson with us. He's the Senior Director of Enterprise Sales for the Florida region. Rob is a big ally of the channel, and thank you, Rob, for coming out and meeting with the partners today. And then, of course, Kelly Flores, who we all know and love. She's the local manager of partner sales. There you go. So thank you. Me and Rob are going to present. I'm going to give some program updates. Rob is going to give you some more regional updates. And then all of the hard questions, you can save it for Kelly at the end. All right? Moving right into it. So I'm not here today to deep dive into coax or fiber. That's typically what we do. We have a lot of new products that we rolled out, including managed services. SD-wan obviously has been a big push. We're now in the security game as well. So we do have a dine and learn here next month. So if you're interested in managed services or deep diving a little more into security, reach out to Kelly. We'll make sure you get on there. We're going to take a small group of people. We do have limited seats, but it's scheduled right now to be around the 21st of September. So let us know if you're interested. I want to keep things high level today. Teaming is something very big for the channel. For those who've been with us for a long time know that historically we've said no to teaming. It's all based on account registration or lead registration for that matter. Across the country, we see partners winning by teaming with our direct side. And that's another reason why Rob came out, because he's going to share some success stories that we have. But if you guys have a long-lasting relationship with a customer, if you guys won an RFP, if you guys have already sold something into that customer, and there's a potential for Comcast to get in there, bring it to us. What we do want to avoid if there's no demonstrated relationship, right? If it's somebody that you met at the 11th hour and they're about to sign with us anyway, that's going to be a very hard thing to sell internally. Any leads that you have around that, bring it to Kelly. Teaming for us, you do take a small haircut on commission, but it's better than nothing, right? It's a 25% haircut to be exact. DE&I initiative, I'm going to keep this high level. Last year, when the pandemic started, 21% of small businesses shut down. But if you dive into that percentage, 41% were African American owned, 32% were Latino owned, and then about 25 were Asian owned. So Comcast Corporate decided to launch what's called the RISE program. Initially, it started as us offering these businesses or helping them out via free marketing, right? We would come in, help them enhance their website, give them lessons, and it even included free internet at one point. And this program kind of morphed into something bigger, so much so that in the beginning of this year, Comcast Corporation committed $5 million to help these small businesses. So what we did in the channel, we decided to launch our own DE&I initiative. Kelly's actually part of that team, and we just launched it this week. We picked 10 partners that we're going to help. We're going to offer a catalog of services, whether it's business acumen, business planning. We just want to help. There's also some incremental funds that we invest in these partners. So the reason I'm bringing that up, anyone here that has any interest in becoming a mentor or maybe helping the program by offering those kind of services, we'd love to talk to you. I can assure you this is going to eventually morph into something bigger. We've already talked to the other cable cos and a couple of VoIP providers that want to join us on this journey. So very exciting things happening here. The next big thing is aggregation. We've allowed aggregation of coax services nationwide when you had an SD-WAN opportunity. Now we've expanded that, so if you have coax across the country and 40% of it is in our footprint, we want to talk to you about it. Now, we've offered off-net services before. The only issue with off-net, it would pay a much reduced comp. You would take almost a 50% hit. So we found a way now to add in those margins, right, and keep you whole from a commission level while being able to aggregate all of the BI circuits, business internet circuits across the country. So this is something relatively new. If you have these opportunities, I encourage you to bring it to your TCG channel manager or talk to Kelly if you're here locally. And then lastly, I do want to mention the call center program. For those who know us for a while, we've historically said, no, we can't help you if you're a call center. We have too many franchise agreements that we're not willing to risk with potential violations there. But we carved out a team to focus on that. So if you guys have access to a call center and you want to engage in proactively making outbound calls to sell Comcast services, we'd love to talk to you. There's incremental training, there's additional bonuses to help get you started. So keep us in mind, and please come to me direct. You can reach me through Jen or Nate in the room. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Rob.
All right. Thank you, John. It's great to see everybody. It's been a very, very long time, and I feel like I need to break my shoes back in. But I also have the feeling that this morning when I was doing my last review of the deck that I have more information than time allotted, but I'll try to make sure I don't bore everybody to death. So just a little bit of an introduction onto who I am and what I do, and I'm used to talking. Is it a problem if I pick this up? I don't have to, but no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. A little bit about me. I'm Rob Patterson, the Senior Director of Enterprise Sales. I've been with Comcast for almost 8 years now. I've been here in Florida for almost 4 of those. And we've seen a significant expansion of the business in the last 4 years. The amount of business coming to Florida has certainly helped to catapult that, but a lot of the efficiencies that we've been able to implement here in the region have certainly played a huge part in driving that additional revenue and business. So it's exciting times here in Florida. I'm just going to touch on a couple of the high points here. So our network reliability, when the pandemic happened, obviously the first thing everybody thought of at Comcast was, oh crap, can our network handle this? Can we handle all of the people that are going to go home and work remotely across their broadband circuit? Can we handle the businesses that are going to send people home and have people remote in? And can we handle just the expansion of fiber circuits from people that need to support these new applications, the new way we need to do business? And the answer is yes. We did it without a hitch. We saw a 47% increase in the capacity during the pandemic, and our network handled it flawlessly. So that's a huge credit to the engineers and all the folks that built an extremely robust network here at Comcast. Part of what's involved with that is making sure that we're continuously investing in it. And year after year, we continue to invest millions and millions of dollars into we call proactive hyper builds and pro builds. So this would be an area where we have low fiber density, or maybe even an area where we're not the traditional cable carrier. We'll actually build into those areas, put fiber right up to the curb, so we've got low build cost and we can easily get to those customers. Next year, I think we've got $15 million on the docket for proactive hyper builds. And I can tell you that last year we spent $80 million in proactive builds, network upgrades, maintenance upgrades to make sure that whether it's coax or fiber, the products that we're provisioning to our shared customers are going to work 99.9% of the time. So with construction, this is one that always, in one side it can be a good guy. Like right now on the coax side of the house, we have the #1 average time to install in the company. On the fiber side, we've got some work to do, especially here in South Florida. There's a lot of challenges with permitting and things of that nature, and there was a law that came out, I think it was 2019, that said 60 days is the max that a municipality can hold up a permit. Our municipalities have found ways to kind of work around that a little bit, but we are heavily engaged with these municipalities to make sure that our government affairs folks, our region leadership, all the way up to our RSVP, are working to make sure we're all in agreement about what holding some of these permits back does to their local business community. So we're extremely engaged there. We have calls multiple times per week talking about how we can improve the process once an order hits our system. We recently launched a new order management system internally called Orion, and the idea is previous to Orion, if you put an order in the system, whether it's indirect, direct, it hits about 45 different systems before that customer is activated. Orion will be one system, from beginning to when that customer receives their bill and pays their bill. That's huge. Like, that is so much bureaucracy that's getting cut out of the process. It means happier customers, more repeat business for you and for Comcast. As far as tech ops goes, Net Promoter Score is one of the things that we measure constantly at Comcast. And that Net Promoter Score is made up of proactive calls to our customers when they have an engagement with a technician, proactive calls back after they've had an engagement with a sales professional. And as of, I think this is June's numbers, we were the third highest rated EMPS region in the country. So that's huge for us. That says we're on the right track. We're moving things forward, and our customers are pretty darn happy with Comcast. So I'm just going to touch on this really quickly because I've already talked about the investment that we've made. Since I've been here in Florida, we've invested upwards of $100 million in proactive fiber builds in Florida. So that would be building to Miami Beach, which is traditionally not Comcast area. That's investing in Panama City, where after the hurricane we rebuilt that area, and now it is Metro E capable, where it wasn't before. It's all of those sorts of things. And then near and dear to my heart is our MTG, or Multi-Tenant Gateway Initiative. So the number on here, I think, is 58, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so 58 MTGs activated as of when this deck was put together. I should have corrected it, my apologies. We're sitting just under 65 MTGs activated. What that MTG means is, instead of us building to every single customer every time they order something, if we've got a building that's got 4 or more enterprise passings, why not just put a device in the basement of that building, and when someone orders, we can quickly just run a drop-off to that customer, and they can immediately have their fiber services. So instead of waiting 90 days, we can turn them up in less than 30. So there's currently just under 65 of those locations. As of right now, our goal is to have 100 of those ROE, or right of entry, secured by the end of the year, and 300 of those activated by the end of 2023. So that's huge. Faster time to install means faster time to billing and faster time to commission. That's why we're all here. So we go on to what I say is the most important part, and that's the mid-market priorities. So it's really been all about growth. Initially when the pandemic hit, we thought, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We've got to take our sales staff, put them all at home, get their computers, their hardware all activated and get the access they need, and then we have to reach out to customers. I'm sure you guys experience the same thing on the indirect side of the house. But everyone's adapted extremely well and very quickly, and we've been growing leaps and bounds. Currently, Florida sits as the #1 region within Comcast. A lot of that's been because we've moved up market. So on both sides of the equation, no matter what channel it is, there used to be a lot of 50 meg and 100 meg circuits. You don't really see those anymore. Really, if it's less than 500 or a gig and we're not packaging that with additional products, typically it's just not something that customers are necessarily interested in right now, right? They want a solution. And when we're selling those solutions, we get those higher revenue numbers, which is good for everybody. So that's really been the biggest thing we've noticed since the pandemic struck, is just the incredible growth, the larger MRC sales, the solutions that we're selling instead of just slinging circuits as we used to. And we're going to continue that momentum, and part of that is going to be with what John was talking about with teaming. And I want to highlight one win that we've had with teaming recently that was actually partnered with TCG, and that was for Broward College. So both organizations, Comcast and TCG, had partnerships within Broward College, and so we got together, held joint phone calls. It talked about the best strategy to approach the RFP and win that RFP, and we did. And I don't think that could have been done if we weren't both heavily engaged in the opportunity and working it. And so that was our biggest win to date. We see a lot of teaming on smaller scale, 1 or 2 circuits. But really, where I see it working proactively is when we both have relationships with a large MRC customer, and we're able to get together before we make that first step in with a customer and show that united front with both sides of the equation having something to offer to the customer. That's been a huge success. When we've done that, we win almost every time. The last thing I'll talk about here is Over the last couple of years, we've really tried to upgrade our facilities here in South Florida. We've got demo rooms in all of our major offices that will highlight our Active Core product. They'll highlight our BVE. Any of our systems, they're all up and running in these demo rooms. We can do a seamless transfer of a BVE call from a cable modem to LTE live in front of the customer. And that's magic when they can see it actually work real time. So if you've got a customer, you got a large opportunity, and you say, hey, once we all kind of get back to normal here and get back in the office, if you want to come in and utilize that demo room, just let us know and we can arrange a time. We are certainly here to support the channel. They are a huge part of the growth here in Florida. Just yesterday and earlier this morning, we were talking about a pretty sizable opportunity that we're looking to bring across the finish line by Friday. That's a teaming opportunity as well, so hopefully I can share those details next time. But it's all about growth here in Florida. I will do anything I can to support the channel and make sure you guys are successful. So with that, I'll take some Q&A here with Kelly.